it's incredible. The
You know,
performance, at least from my side, is spot on. Yeah, there's really no delay going on whatsoever. User experience, it's great.
It's looking really cool. Nice level of polish in there at the moment on the tools, which is really good to see.
It's absolutely phenomenal. It's a great bit of kit. Okay, do you know what I mean? Every single thing you've presented there has merit and worth. What you've developed is fantastic, and
puts it in. You could put it in like a layman's hands, like myself, and you could set up a scene quite easily.
You've really nailed it there. Some of these tools to just assist and even to demystify and help bring like kind of the public on the journey. Incredibly powerful.
But from day one, I've always believed, and I can say this with all honesty, right? I've always believed in what Luke's been trying to do.
Yeah. But as you see, what I can see is, you can get the dollar stack up pretty quick.
So this all looks great. It's definitely advanced a lot more. I always think it's interesting that what's really pushing graphics is actually gaming. We do this thing with maps all the time, or like little like diagrams. So like, okay, I have a piece of land. Well, what if I developed it like an area of doesn't matter. Pick any city or development you want. You just literally copy and paste it on top of it to say this is what it would look like. But we do it in 2D, and it'd be wonderful to do it in 3D.
You can do all that. We'll show that as part of our sketch night.
Yeah, it seems like from watching this, it seems like you've got quite, just even with the base, bringing in the base imagery and the stuff from Google, it seems to be pretty good. I think when I used to use Twinmotion in the past, it was good from a graphics perspective. You could just drop in your Revit file and get some really high-end renders, but in terms of grounding that model in the real world was a bit challenging, I guess. And so it looks like the very base layer that you guys can set up, it seems to be, I was just saying to me in the chat, looked really, really good.
So what a huge thing is, I'm thinking about experiential for a rival departure, for whether or not we're talking transportation or driving or something like that. When you're talking about like the user experience, that you can like say, well, if I do this road, what am I experience and the driver? Because now that's basically impossible to do in a game engine. That's a piece of cake.
I think especially with the market that it is at the moment, where everything's quite tight and people aren't really wanting to spend money, I think in many ways it could save them a lot of money. But
that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. Yeah.
There would be heaps of benefits to use it, especially I think if, say, for projects that we're kind of working as the design manager across a whole lot of disciplines, that's where it would be most beneficial, I think.
I see it being really valuable. I understand why developers would love it. Like, it makes perfect sense why this is the developer, of course, would love it.
Yeah, very intently listening. Very impressive. Look, I think it's amazing. I love this stuff, always have. I've always been an advocate for this type of stuff.
And that's the whole
amazing.
idea.
Yeah, I still think that what you've got there is of extreme benefit. I mean, as quick and as formative as that. And to me, it's in a place that really can do that. And everyone gets to have a bit of a play. Everyone gets to, whatever, and be a little bit more engaged in it.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And that's the power of it, right? So what it'll do means that people will look at it and go, oh, can I put my stuff in there? And you go, yeah, sure you can. And they'll be like, wow. No, well done. That's really good. Really good. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well done. Congratulations to you and the team.
Pretty much an overview.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed. I really liked some of maybe the simpler features, just being able to sketch on there. I can see that being really useful
as well. So I think you really are on the right path, and here's something exciting. I've been impressed. Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's good asset management stuff. So
I think it's pretty exciting, actually. So this is amazing and so much faster. And to be able to put the overlays over it and everything is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal. That's massive amount of time that you'll be able to save. Just looks really easy and intuitive. Just seems amazing. I can't wait to get in and have a play.
I mean, the big engineering Globocorps must love this stuff. You know, we should have been doing this 3 years ago. It's amazing stuff. I mean, it's phenomenal. It'd be a whole lot more valuable to be able to do it like this. Yeah, no, it's great stuff, guys. Really, really
It
impressive.
is,
So you
yeah.
basically make everyone in the meeting a designer by using this tool.
It is cool. It's very cool. And if it's as simple as what it seems, yeah, it's absolutely something. And I think you're right. I think you know, it's beyond Paul and I a little bit, but we'd be the consumers of it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
We'd have
yeah.
people there.
Adding tags to maps and
Yes,
then
yeah.
exporting as like video
Absolutely.
would be
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, it's great. And I can see the applications for especially Danny. Like I can imagine Danny wouldn't have dreams about this software, but we've got the interior spatial designers as well. And I work a lot with the First Nations department here, so even that would be great, mapping traditional owner countries and
have application then, given how easy it is to use, like it's even easier over time.
Yes.
As an engagement tool in the sense that I can, as a local authority, say, okay, we want to do a park upgrade.
Yep.
Show us what you want.
Yeah.
And then you can output 10,000 submissions that are people creating.
From a design perspective and being able to visualize things and present it quickly, yeah, absolutely. These sort of tools are certainly very useful.
Things like slope and topography, which is really what the strength of this 3D is.
Looking at this and seeing the presentation as a whole, there's obviously so much that this tool can do, and there's so many directions that it can go.
Me right now as a project need, if you had those loaded into this and I could sketch on a bunch of terrain in Western Sydney, I'd have a use for that today.
So we have to present to the Queensland government in a few weeks. So to have a digital twin of that would be like awesome. Yeah, that's cool. And then in the city, what's your oyster in the city? Yeah, it's better than Google Earth, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's running well.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very cool. So this is great,
Steve.
Very cool.
Thanks, mate.
Very good. Love it.
Oh.
Is everything that I expected. I knew you guys were going to do a good job.
No, it's brilliant. I love it. It's very simple. It's quick. It's easy. Yeah, you don't need to be technical, in order to be able to drive it. No, it's very impressive.
To me, this is like this is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. My interest really is around this interoperability between these things. So this is really interesting. Really interesting.
It's very impressive. Thanks.
Well, 100% from me, absolutely, and beyond 100%, yes.
Public consultation, I think there's a whole range of things that it can enhance the whole experience and communicate much better than what we do now. So I think this is really, really very interesting.
I'm so excited by things like this. So, Luke, thank you for your time.
Look, it's great, mate. I could see its application in future corridors and things like that. Yeah. No, it's really good, mate. No, it looks good, mate. That looks fantastic. Yes.
The Unreal Engine just brings, a whole world of visuals that, most of these other platforms don't do. And we would love, tools like this sort of at our disposal to help our clients. So, we don't have the ability to create something like what you've created here and, very easily. So, it's certainly attractive, I think, to us.
Yeah, just looking at it and, in this kind of brief little session we've had, I can already think of a couple of projects we're either working on or about to work on where it would be very handy. So yeah, I don't know what the other boys think, but yeah, I think it's got huge potential. And it seems very user friendly. I mean, just the way it's set up.
As I say, I really think that there's definitely some great opportunities.
No, I'm here. I agree with what everyone else has said. I reckon it's really powerful, especially for those early planning, DA kind of
stuff we have to do, because we just spend, way too long putting together all the analysis diagrams and context stuff and all that. This is just so much more easy and just faster to do all that.
Oh, look, I think this is brilliant, mate. It's honestly, it's amazing. It's great. Yeah, look, everything that goes through my mind, I can see a usage for it. I mean, disaster relief. Just anything to do with logistics and planning, where it's infinite. Anything of the world that requires logistics or process, distances between places, it can eventually grow to becoming just a general planning tool. I think it's phenomenal. Look, it's very, very, very good. So well done. It's a good vision.
It's really just extraordinary, Luke and Daniel. It's been good to see it. I mean, it's something that as soon as we can get hold of it, we'd be keen.
Yeah, it's not just kids about creating movies, because our clients would love to sort of see some of these things. as well.
Very, very impressive. Your mind goes off to different places thinking, oh, how could you use this, doesn't it? Kind of thinking about it from an education perspective and running like virtual tours and stuff like that, because that's stuff we do a bit of. No, interesting, really interesting. Surprised that developers aren't jumping all over this. Thanks very much, Dan.
No
worries. That was great.
So we should continue to think, Adam?
Yeah, it's exciting.
For this was not just around the planning, development, infrastructure community. Is around anyone who has never had access to this, to give it to them and let them do what you want with it.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, isn't it? Well, we think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sort of opens up all these possibilities that you're not even aware of.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's part of what we want to do is give people access to stuff and let their minds be their only limiting factor. So it's worth pursuing. Should we keep going?
Absolutely, you should pursue it. And there's nothing else out there like this.
I don't think there is.
Well, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
I think it's great. It's come a long way in the last few months, just since I was last here.
Thanks. Yeah, let's just grab Robina Town Centre. Maybe turn off that. Yeah. Let's pull that up.
Yeah. Wow. It's about this. It's not much different in size.
Yeah. So guys, I love when I hear people say, wow, because that's, how easy is it for somebody that knows Robina, and again, some people do, to give them an example of the scale and size of what that is, because that's a reasonably big chunk of land, isn't it?
This is so useful. You can just see how useful this is for a project management team or anyone, really. I mean, well, it's exactly what you want to do once you've got the drawings. You want to be able to sort of walk the spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. And to make it sort of accessible and open it up.
Give us ideas. This would be useful for us to be able to play with when we're looking, some tools. I mean, a simple one, as I said, to the council, where we're sitting down arguing with these people for weeks and weeks about, for example, how much open space, that it's essentially the wrong amount of open space and it's simply wasted. We could throw on various things that they were familiar with in order to deal with scale and that. So I can see how it could pay for itself very quickly in those sorts of examples.
The layering is super cool, because this is the sort of stuff that, try and explain things to boards about locations or whatever. The fact that you can drop them, even that last layer applied, super effective,
Yeah.
So what we could do, I mean, particularly, I didn't explain Manuel's role. Manuel is our general manager of our land lease community. So effectively, he's building these things, these, 20 hectare residential retirement communities all over Australia. So, that this is ideal for that sort of, being able to talk with council about size and scale and amenity.
The whole thing,
But it does give the ability to use it in a strategic way for us.
It's your Sim City stuff where you're building stuff from scratch, but in a real world format that enables you to get an understanding of actual cost and scale. you know, a lot of these innovations are actually driven by consultants and the next generation. So definitely, if this content is starting to be, you know, provided by consultants like planners and landscape architects that are pitching for work, or hey, I'm just going to take you through our preliminary design, it can be used as a review. I think in the interim, that's where you'll get the best input, because it's not necessarily the developer to be playing around with the design themselves. They really want the consultants to be coming to them and to assist decision making. So, and that's where your efficiencies and everything else can come into it. So I think in the interim, and you got to think about baby steps and low hanging fruit, that you know, a consultant will probably pitch as the, you know, you look at Aura South from a master planning perspective. You know, we'll come and do concepts and everything. This is a way that they could then present those concepts back to us to give us a better 3D visualization and be efficient way of doing that. And you think of pitch packs, it'd be very advantageous for consultants in able to do that and then get the understanding from the client of, you know, to shape the brief. So, and I think also then from an educational perspective at student level, at unis and at schools, a great way to, you know, to educate new planners and urban designers and, you know, landscape architects. So I think that's probably where initially it would go. And we're finding, particularly with, you know, new development managers and project managers, people coming through, they're actually, you know, people who've come from different backgrounds like property economics, etc., actually haven't got a good visual creative eye to read plans. So it becomes an efficient communication tool. I think secondly, the other way of using this is going to be really good from a stakeholder engagement perspective. When you're looking to, and, you know, convey, you know, for example, I could see elements of this where I could convey how we're protecting the environment, sensitive adjacent environmental areas. We've got water sensitive urban design. This is sort of how it works. These are the distances to Palmerston Passage. So similar to, you know, what you did for us years ago with the Death Star laptop, where we're talking about, you know, the Palmerston Passage and everything else. You know, it's almost sort of a live way of being able to communicate that. No, that's great. Thank you.